In version 1.003 of the dual false color NDI monitor, there's a few additions and changes. You've still basically got two independent NDI inputs. Can have different things on each one, or you can just have the same thing on each one. And that can be useful if you want to show false color on one and the original video on the other. There's a choice of two different lookup tables, and in the previous version there was also an experimental waveform monitor, which is now much more easily accessible through a button which simply overrides whatever you had previously, whether it was false color or the standard display. Now, if you wanted to see all the permutations at once, then, or at least most of them, you can now add secondary displays. So in the lower part of the screen you have the raw video from each input, whatever it is, and then on the top you can choose either the false color or the waveform monitor. And for the waveform monitor you've got a couple of different graticule options. For old-fashioned people like me who remember the analog days, you can view it as 0.3 to 1 volt, or if you want it 0 to 100, you just click on the graticule numbers and they will switch between the two options. The final couple of options are a low Q, lower CPU option for the main video display. What that does is to bin half the incoming pixels. Given that you're scaling the image down anyway, it doesn't make that much difference, and the main purpose of this sort of display with the false color and the waveform is for setting exposure, so you're not that bothered about having the ultimate resolution for a task like that. And then the final option is always on top, and that simply means that if you've got multiple windows open and you happen to be dragging something else around or click on something which should be mainly behind this one, then it'll stay behind and the false color display will be on the top. And that's about it for this version. You can download it from my website, which is www.zenvideo.co.uk.